A very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our program, An Evening with Rajvin and Warren. Yeah, as you already know, ladies and gentlemen, by now, this program is dedicated to showcase Rajvin Kaur Randawa, a laughter yoga coach and also a great motivator. Yes, she was diagnosed with cerebral palsy at the age of 1, and she is now rocking the FB live world, I would say. Yeah, so she is also the finalist for Miss Amazing Malaysia season 2. So this is a pay as you wish program, if you can see there. If you think that you want to contribute, please do so. We will show the bank details later, and the financial blessings will go directly to Rajwin. We want to help her in many ways possible. She's an enthusiastic lady, and it's amazing that she's able to be with us today. So let's start. I shall now call upon our host for the day, Rajwin Kaur Randava. Rajwin.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to an evening with Rajvin and Warren. Um, Today we are celebrating World Autism Day, and I would like to wish everyone a happy World Autism Day. I'm so privileged to host this program every time with my partner Warren. Thank you so much for um, being with me. So today we would like to welcome um, we would like to welcome Gulshan Kaur, who's the who's a mom, a housewife, and a business trainer who will share her story about her son Harvin Singh, and the theme for this year's Autism Day would be um, inclusion in the workplace, challenges and opportunities in the post-pandemic world. Without further ado, I would like to welcome Gulshan Kaur.
Thank you, Warren. Thank you, Rajvin. It's been my pleasure to be here with you guys today. It's actually my first time, so kind of nervous actually. Yeah.
So yeah, Gulshan, are you ready to answer our questions for this evening?
Yes,
Um,
fire away, Rajvin.
so Gulshan, tell us about yourself and Harvin.
Ah, what is there to say about myself? Okay, I am a mom of three kids. I have two daughters and one son. Harvin is the middle child. He's 21 years old. My eldest daughter is 23. My youngest is 20. So basically, this is me and my kids. Harvin is 21. Actually, he just turned 21. In fact, his lucky baby, 12th of April was his birthday. So we just had his 21st celebration. It was nice. It was a nice family gathering. And me, I actually, from the time Harvin was diagnosed, I was, prior to that, I was a litigation clerk. So I was working, and due to the fact that Harvin was diagnosed when he was 4 years old, I had to resign to look after him. So hence, after that, I was totally a housewife and recently turned entrepreneur. So that's another whole story. So we are focused on hiring today. So yeah, that's just a brief detail about us.
So that's a very good introduction about yourself. Moving on, what do you think is the role of mothers and parents of autism and other special needs children?
Hmm. Role of parents and others. Basically, I would say my journey throughout this 21 years, I mean, yeah, around that time, I had learned that we are actually the window to our kids because not all autistic individuals are the same. So, for me personally, I am the window for him to the outside world. So, and we also play a role as their parent, as their therapist, and everything else because as you know, autism is actually a spectrum disorder. So not no two autistic individuals are the same, and hence because my son he is nonverbal, and the only way he can communicate with me is through gestures, to hand gestures, and sometimes we do hear certain sounds which sounds like a word. So yeah, so roles of parents, we are the link. We are the link to the outside world for them. So that's my personal opinion.
In this post-pandemic world, I'm sure a lot of parents face um, challenges with their children, especially for autism spectrum and other other challenges. So, how has this pandemic what how has this pandemic affected you, and what are the daily challenges you face with Harbin? Maybe you want to share that.
Okay. Daily challenges. There's never been a normal routine with Harvin. So the moment I wake up in the morning, we can plan things, but Harvin has other plans for us. So this pandemic actually had made him become more restless. Actually, he likes to go out. He likes to have his outings with his dad. We go on drives. Sometimes he will give gestures that he wants to go to that specific restaurant to have his favorite nasi lemak. But because of the pandemic, we're not allowed to go out, and restaurants at that time were closed. So it was a struggle. It was a struggle to get him to understand that no, we cannot go out. And the daily challenges was too many lah, too many to tell. And now one of those is
Just
meltdowns. He has frequent meltdowns, yes. So the meltdowns were quite frequent because the pandemic made him become more restless, and he is unable to, have that normal routine that he has, and we had to cope with all that.
interesting, interesting. But I must say that you are very resilient to face all this. I'm sure mothers can learn a lot
Um,
from you.
it's a journey, Rajvin. It's a journey. I have gone through a lot of stages from the time he was diagnosed when he was 4 years old. We were totally in denial for 1 year. He was diagnosed by a speech therapist. At that time was the year Hari was born in the year 2000. So he was diagnosed in 2004 by a speech pathologist in Johor Bahru. At that time, even the doctors were not aware that this was autistic. It was autism. So she diagnosed him as mild autism, which was an alien word to me and my husband. In fact, none of us in our family knew what autism was. So we kind of were in denial, fact denial, and never did anything. We just thought, okay, he'll come out of it as per normal parents would. We think that, okay, he's still young, he'll get better. But 1 year into that, when he turned 5, things didn't get any better. In fact, it got even worse. So he was more secluded. He just secluded into his own world. He became more recluse, wasn't doing what a normal typical 5-year old was doing. So that gave us a bit of and To top it all, my mom and my mother-in-law kept insisting, let's go get him checked up, go get him tested, see what's wrong with him. He's not talking. He was talking at the age of 1 plus, uh, and then suddenly he stopped. So that is one of the something that triggered all of us. Why he stopped talking, and from being a bubbly, energetic young little boy, suddenly he was so quiet, and he will sit in a corner and stare at the blank wall. That caught us, caught our attention, and that's not normal. That's not normal at all. So we went and did all the necessary tests with the government hospitals, and finally ended up seeing a child psychiatrist. God bless her heart, and I still am in touch with her, and she gave us the direction. She literally gave us the direction that yes, you need to send him and accept that he is autistic, and you send him to the special needs school that he needs the help to get the help that he needs. So that's when our journey started, because at that age he had a lot of sensory issues, a lot, and we were totally clueless on how to deal with that. I couldn't take him to a shopping mall, like, go for my grocery shopping in Giant, and my girls were sometimes with me, but to put him in the trolley, he'll be screaming his lungs out. We didn't understand what it was. Then when we took him to this special needs center, they did something called sensory integration exercises. That's when, few months into that exercise, my sister and I decided, let's take him and go to Giant and see how it goes, see if there's any changes. And yeah, it really helped, because when we put him in the trolley, because we didn't want to hold him, he was still young at that time, 5 years old, so we could put him in the trolley. He was still a small boy, and we pushed the trolley into the Giant, did our shopping. He was quiet, he was literally quiet. So that gave us the idea that, okay, this exercises that he's been doing actually is helping him. So that's my first step, understanding what sensory integration means. He has a lot of heightened senses. His hearing, his touch, his sight, it's all double and triple. So he just couldn't take, even for us it's just a normal thing, like a car or a siren. He just cannot take it. So we didn't understand all that. So these are the stages. As he was growing, we went through a lot. First was this, and then we understood, okay, he needed this exercises to calm him down. So it helped. Then the center had this one. They did a lot of, they did packs. They uh, they did packs basically, and one-on-one table settings with him, training. So that was all throughout his age till he was 9 years old. We attended the center, and it helped to a certain extent. It helped him become more calmer, more compliant to the sense. But we moved. That time we were staying in Johor Bahru. Then we moved to, my husband had a job in Pekan Pahang, so we moved to Kuantan in 2009. That's where our journey to understanding Harvin, when he came into puberty. That was one stage with early intervention. Then after 9, that puberty that was a different ball game altogether. Uh, Moving town was another struggle, because he didn't understand what was happening. Why are we here? I myself, I mean, both me and my husband, we didn't understand the fact that we needed to prepare him first. So those were the things that I would say, not say mistake, but there is something that we needed to learn along the way. Now we do that. So with him, we understand, with actually every individual, every autistic individual, you need to prepare them beforehand. If they are verbal and if they are high functioning, so they may be able to understand when you speak to them. But like for my son, he's non-verbal, so I needed to make him, at least for the whole week, prepare him with pictures of the area, tell him beforehand that, okay, we are going here, and this is what we are going to do. And even though we feel that he doesn't understand, but he does. That is, things that we went through a lot of things and stages with him, to the point that we are right now, that we know he understands everything we say. The only setback is that he's unable to express it, because that's where the impairment comes in. You see, that's where the autism impairment, the social impairment, is a brain development thing. So he cannot communicate that way with us. So, but we know he understands, because when we did that with him, he's much more calmer, and we are able to go about our daily routine more calmly, basically. Yeah.
Rajwin,
Um, despite what all the things that you're going through, what makes you move forward? I know you have a lovely smile. Uh, despite yeah, can you share
What
with us
makes
one?
me move? Um, Life, I guess. I mean, if you ask me, how was it like being a mother of an autistic individual? I'm being blunt here, but at the beginning, it was a struggle. It was real. The struggle was real. I couldn't accept him, and I went into depression. Um, that was when we were staying in Johor Bahru, and prior to the fact that he was still a toddler. He was in before 9 years old. I was going through a lot of emotional ups and downs, and I was quite depressed at that time, because he was, here there is a child. He's so beautiful, but why can't he talk? And why can't he just listen? Why can't he just be like the girls? They had their shares of struggle with him as well, because there was a certain point in our life that I had to go back to work, and things were not so smooth, and it was a bit of struggle. I had to send him to the center, go to work, and then my husband would come back from work and pick him up from the center. It was like roller coaster of emotional, which we were keeping it hidden inside. We didn't address it, basically, and I didn't address my daughter's emotional stress either. So I was not accepting him 100%. I would say that even when I moved to Kuantan, there was a lot of I mean, there were good days, and there were so not so good days either. I remember distinctively, because Harvin has. It took me a year to train him to pass urine in the toilet. A year, and then he was still in diapers until I think 10 years old. He was still in diapers, to the point there was no diapers that could fit him. uh, so that was another struggle. I was really emotionally very angry, very frustrated, and I threw my frustration on him and on the girls. That was a real there was a not a very good time for us. And I remember, this is really a sharing I had. This is a real sharing, because imagine this. He's in diapers, and we ran out of water supply suddenly, and I had no water to clean him up, and he had done his motion. So, oh, I think if I think back on that moment, I go back and think what I did at that time. I was really okay. It was a real struggle. I was so angry, so frustrated, and I threw the frustration on him. and he was merely, I think, maybe 11. He was still a baby basically, because physically may look like an 11-year-old, but mentally he wasn't. So these are real struggles. I went through all that. I went through all this emotional up and down, and I threw a lot of that on my family, on my girls, my husband, and on him as well. And looking back right now, yes, I cannot change what I did, but now henceforth, because I think I owe it a lot, because I went for this one program. It's called a Sunrise program. I think some parents know about it. That was during 2000, I think 2015. At that time, Harin was 15 years old. I was still going through all these struggles with him. I was still, sometimes getting angry and frustrated with him. But when I went for this Sunrise program, God bless the souls of those people who actually sponsored me. I couldn't afford it. It was a hefty amount. I'm not financially well to do. I come from a very humble background. And a lot of things I need to do for my son, I couldn't because of financial constraint. So, but I was adamant that I wanted to go for this Sunrise Startup program. I needed to understand what it was and how it can help my son. I got sponsored to go for this, and God bless the souls who actually helped me, attend. It was a 5 day seminar, basically a startup program, which when I came back, I looked at my whole scenario totally different. I was a different person. I understood why Harvin was doing what he was doing at that time. That is, how many years that was. Maybe he was 11, and at the age of 15 only I understood all these years why my son was, screaming, why my son was shouting, why he sometimes, does this. He just closes his eyes, or he closes his ears. He just doesn't want. Or sometimes when, I try to touch him, he just pushes me away. I didn't understand that. I went for this Sunrise program. The first and foremost, the thing that they taught me was accept him unconditionally, completely love him for who he is. Oh, that was so I would say very heartfelt, and I broke down many times at the sessions, because I regretted what I did, but I cannot change that. But now I don't. I don't do these things with him anymore. Whenever he has a meltdown, I am there, sitting next to him, and just tapping him and telling him, "I love you. It's okay. You're okay. You're fine. You can go through this." I just let him handle his meltdown, because it can last to an hour, for half an hour to an hour sometimes, depending on how bad his sensory, overload is. So understand, he has sensory overload. Sometimes whatever he does, there's always a reason behind it. And everybody, for that matter, I started seeing my daughters in a different light. For that matter, everybody does something. They don't just do it. There's a reason behind it, and so does Harvin. He throws a meltdown. I said, instead of shouting at him, find out why he's doing that and address that. Go to the root of the problem. So with him, because he's non-verbal, I have to be a private eye. I have to do a lot of investigating. I have to go trace my steps back. I have to trace back, and I have to ask everyone, okay, what was he doing before this and before that? Did he eat something? Did he touch something? Did he watch something? A lot of things. So these are the daily struggles that we go through. And now the fact that I understand him so much better, and I accept him wholeheartedly without any judgment, 100% unconditional love. It is empowering, and it has released me from this stress and this burden that I carry over my shoulder all these years. I don't know how else to express how I feel.
Very well said. Very well said, Gulshan. Um, how was your how was your family support after knowing Harvin's condition?
My family support. The moment we got Harin's diagnosis, I had a lot of support from my mom, from my sister, from my brother-in-law, from my brothers, and my mother-in-law as well. So everybody was very, very supportive, even though they didn't understand what autism was. I had to educate them. Literally, that's the job of a parent. If you ask me the role of a parent, yeah, we are the educators, not only for our child, but for others as well, for our family members, for our relatives. We have to educate them. We have to, let them know what autism is, because they're not living in my shoes. They don't live with an autistic individual. Seeing from the outside is a completely different thing, whereas you're living with an autistic individual is completely different, all a whole ball game altogether.
Um, very nice, very nice. How, I mean, uh, how um what is your goal for other autism children and your message for mothers out there?
My message for the mothers out there, it's not only mothers, but I think it's more mummies and daddies as well, both parents. It goes hand in hand. But I know there are a lot of single parents out there too. And it could be fathers, it could be mothers as well. My message to them is accept your child unconditionally. Unconditional love is the first and foremost thing to do. And after that, you will automatically, I don't know, it happened to me, it could happen to you as well. You automatically see the light at the end of the tunnel. There's no more darkness when you use unconditional love to see the things around you and to accept your child. You actually see more light than darkness. So, and you will get the answers, you will get the guidance on how to best help your child, because no two autistic individuals are the same. So with me, it was here like this. There are some parents who have high functioning children. They are able to go into inclusive classrooms and join in the mainstream schools. They're blessed, they're really blessed, but I'm sure they also have their struggles as well. So just I see, maybe understand our child a bit more, and don't prejudge them. Don't just go straight to scolding and getting frustrated. The emotional things, that like for my son, I cannot show emotional breakdown or anger in front of him. I can't even scold my daughters. If I raise my voice, he starts closing his ears and start shouting. "Arr!" He'll do that. I said, I'm not scolding you. I'm not scolding you. But that's the thing. He has made me a different person also. He's made me mellowed down. I don't get angry so easily. And those days when he does a blunder, I will first reaction is like, Arvin, what have you done? But now it's like I look at him and said, okay, let's clean up. Because he does. See, he's kind of obsessed with food.
Very nice, very nice.
Yeah.
If I can just add a little bit, yeah, Rajwin, yeah, Gulshan, I've got some comments which I
Yeah.
want to read it out, yeah. Tajwinder says,
Okay.
what you have done is inspirational. God bless. Um, and Uma Velu says, wonderful, keep going. Uh,
Thanks.
Gopala Krishna is called dialing in all the way from India. He says, good evening, everyone. Uh, and
Wow.
Lim Wee Kim
Good evening.
says, you are so right. Living with an autistic child is a special experience. Yeah, so there are so many people giving you very good remarks, Gulshan. I have got this question
Thank
though. what a
Yeah.
parent should do if they have a child when they know that their child is with autism. What should a parent do? And also another question that I may want to ask you also: how much help did you get here in Malaysia in terms of support and go-to place? Can you answer that, Gulshan?
Okay. What to do if your child is, if you suspect your child is autistic and having the autism tracks in them? Uh, First and foremost is you need to get him properly diagnosed. So if you are financially able, then maybe you can go to a private psychologist, accredited psychologist, or a specialist to get him diagnosed. And then if he's a young toddler, then early intervention is a must. Early intervention. So that's the first initial step. Get a diagnosis and then get him into the early intervention, him or she. And what's the other question again?
How much help did you get here in Malaysia?
Oh, how much help did I get in Malaysia? I would say the initial stages, Malaysia in the year of 2004, there was not much. Um, I think, yeah, from the government, yes, I'm very, very blessed to have been able to meet the child psychiatrists that actually helped us and gave us a lot of guidance. And it was through the government service, which I would say, if you're lucky, if you're lucky, you get good, people to help you. But we need to. Malaysia is still quite backward compared to other countries. Yes, um, for people like who are from humble families, it's a struggle. We are all depending on government subsidies, and private sectors are really, really. There are a lot of private centers running autism centers and giving therapies and all, but it is very costly, extremely costly, and for people who are financially not so off, it's a constant struggle. The government is not very, very I would say at par. Like, I would, let's not go any further, but Singapore, they are really, really much, much, much ahead in terms of getting autistic individuals the help that they need. They have all the up-to-date centers and subsidiaries and stuff like that. But Malaysia is, it's a work in progress. So I'm actually with a team of moms. Actually, um, she is actually in the initial stages. Is actually in the pilot stages yet. We're waiting for her to get it kickstart, because my son is an adult. So if you ask me, is there a center for adults? Zero. There are some, but I don't want to name them. They don't seem feasible enough, because I don't feel comfortable sending my son there. I don't want to name, because there is one, but other than that, there isn't any. So she is also a mom with an autistic. I think her boy is a teenager, and she's got these few parents together. But it's in a pilot project, so we're working on it and see how things go, because we need to get a center for adults with autism. Maybe get them the training that they need, and find their strengths, and then work on that and see where we how we can help them when we know what their strengths are. So this is what I want for my son. For my son is right now, as my goal for now is at least he is able to be 100% independent. I want him to be able to look after himself. He's not 100% independent yet. Is, I would say he's maybe 70%. There's still work in progress. He's 21, but we're not giving up. He still can be trained. So yeah, I guess that's what I want for him.
When meeting people in the society, right? uh,
Yeah.
your own family members or anything, do you prefer your child to be addressed as a child with autism or autistic? Which one would you feel comfortable?
Um, I I normally refer to Harvin as individual. No, how do I normally refer to him? Autism spectrum disorder. He is under the spectrum. Yes, because it's not just one thing. It's a spectrum. So we refer to them as autism ASD individuals. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I prefer to refer
So
to that. Yeah.
I understand that communication is very important uh, uh, for every special needs child, es- especially autism and other special needs as well. So, how well do you communicate with your child on a daily basis?
Hmm. How well do I communicate? um, Harvin doesn't communicate like normal kids. So whenever he is with us, we talk to him like a normal child. But his response would be sometimes we see the message getting through him, and sometimes it's like he'll just look at us blank. And then what we do is, we as a family, we try to figure out what he's thinking, and we just make, not making fun of him, but we want to incorporate him, like the way he expresses. He's got a lot of expression on his face. So my daughters will do this. They said, when I put a question to him, and then my daughter said, he, okay, what like she's doing, it's like they put words in his mouth. So okay, then we have a good laugh. And he's with us. And one thing I've noticed about Harvin is that he doesn't like it when not everyone is at home. He wants even the sisters to be home. And if they're not home, to him, his world is his mom, his dad, his two sisters, and now we have a dog and my mother in law. So if one individual is not home, he gets a bit restless. So his world revolves around all of us. So I feel that's a blessing. I said he is actually a blessing for us lah. I put it that way lah. And to have him, to have me to be his mom, I feel I'm so privileged to be his mother. He's taught me a
Yeah.
lot, and he's teaching his father a lot of things as well.
So, do you how well do you know how do you know if Harvin wants to express something? Do you use sign language or do you use how?
I don't do sign language, but when Harvin wants something, he will come in the room. That is okay. There are a few stages. If he hasn't had, if he's not angry yet, and let's say he's hungry and he wants something to eat, but he's patiently waiting for it, he'll come to me, and then I'll look at him and say, okay, what do you want, Harin? Then he'll just pull my hand, and okay, he'll guide me to where he wants to go. So from then, I'll initiate another question. Okay, you tell me what you want. So I try not to give him something. I try to give him the independence to, let's say he wants something from the pantry or the fridge. So I open the fridge. I say, you open the fridge. I'll tell him. I say, you open the fridge. What is it you want? You take. I'm standing here. But you see, this part he still hasn't grasped, because all these years, it's always me doing something for him or prompting him. He needs a prompt. He wants me to prompt him to do something. So I want to stop that, behavior. So it'll take some time for him to, be that independent, so that he can open the fridge, take what he actually needs, and then close the fridge, as opposed to ransacking it and just going through and seeing like, oh, there's so many things inside, I don't know what to eat. That kind of feeling.
So,
Yeah.
you know, um, how well, how many stages are there of autism, and how do you feel? How did you feel when your child was first diagnosed with autism?
I think I addressed that earlier already when Harin was diagnosed and how we were feeling. We were in denial for a year. We completely clueless what autism is, and when we finally hit us at the age of 5, we got him the help that he needed. So it was a struggle at the beginning to accept autism as part of Harin. Yeah. And Harin falls under the category. Yeah, you were saying
Yeah,
something, Warren?
go ahead. Harvin falls under the category.
Harin falls under the category because he was diagnosed with mild autism. Mild autism, but right now he has grown up to be this adult individual who actually I'd say he has a mind of his own. Actually, he wants something, and he will initiate that he wants it, and he doesn't get what he wants. He throws a bit of tantrum, but I think I have to draw a line also at the certain point, because if we don't put stop to something, he will continue. Like I said earlier, he has an obsession with food, which is something that we need to address, but we're doing it in stages. We don't want to suddenly go cold turkey with him. Then there'll be another whole meltdown drama happening. Yeah. So then we because I know when he has already had enough, I have to say no to him.
Mm.
He gets a bit cranky. I think if you play bad cop, good cop, I'm the bad cop in the family. The good cop is the dad. So, and he knows where to get what he wants. Mommy, I don't want to ask mommy, don't want. Then he will quietly go and ask the father. Then I look, what does he want? Then I tell the father, so what he wants? Something lah. Then he
Yeah.
knows when I ask the question, he back off. So it's like I'm the disciplinarian.
So you're definitely the bad cop, lah. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. He knows
I
he
have
won't get away with murder with me.
Really, yeah, good, good. I have got some comments coming in, yeah, Gulshan. Abu
Yeah.
Sharif Mahmud Khan, he is all the way from Bangladesh, and he's saying, I am going to send a message to my country as to how you are working. You are very great, he says, all the way from Bangladesh. And then you have got Uma Velu who says, maybe we don't have we don't have to label them. My son is the spectrum,
Yes.
prefers to be known as just a person like everybody else. And I think this is very interesting, yeah, how Uma is saying
Well said.
neither
Well said.
autistic
Yeah.
nor with autism. That's very interesting, I would
Yes.
say. And
That's why when you asked me the question, I didn't feel comfortable addressing him as anything. I mean, he's just an individual.
Yeah. So this is the thing, Gulshan. A lot of people out there they don't know, but by Rajwin asking you the question and you feeling uncomfortable, and then we getting all these views, I think that sends across a different message altogether as to how do we actually address them. Pretty much
Yes.
like you and me, you know. So I got a
Yeah.
question that came by my WhatsApp, which I want to ask you. Yeah. One is, what
Mhm.
therapies are there available, and what therapies is Harvin going through? And I personally have got this question: how close is the what's the relationship that he and his daddy has? How close are they?
Okay, there are a lot of therapies available now, as in now in 2021, and after, as opposed to the time when Harin was diagnosed. So there is ABA therapy, there is Sunrise program, there's PACS, there's a few others, but these are the ones that I'm aware of, and yeah, so it depends on the parents' preference, and how they're comfortable with their child, because some parents like the ABA, and ABA is kind of rigid, but there are two different school of thoughts here. There is a different one center I know, a therapist. She actually runs this. She does ABA, but totally different. She really focuses on the child's strengths, and I like that concept. I wish they had that concept when Harbin was much younger. But then again, for parents who are, interested to find out more, I think maybe I can share it later. I forgot the name of the center, but yes,
Yeah.
there are a lot of them available out there, a lot. And
Sure.
to the second question, how Harvin's relationship with his daddy is? Oh, very good, extremely good. Daddy is his lifeline now. Okay, because my husband prior to this, when we were in Kuantan, I moved my family, myself and my children to Klang in 2014, and my husband was still working in Kuantan, so he used to be a weekend father and weekend husband. So Harvin only got to see his dad on the weekends. Then just recently, this just before the COVID lockdown, my husband's work was mostly back here. He was relocated back here to KL, and it was a struggle. I would say that this is something that both father and son had to go through. um, he not being understanding Harvin much, because always saw Harvin as a weekend son. He knew a lot of things. Yeah, we went through our struggles when we were kids, yes, when he was younger. But this was Harvin who was already 19, 20 years old, and there's the dad. Suddenly, oh, dad is at home every day. When father, he used to be a weekend husband, so it was the routine. He takes him out for his favorite restaurant shop. We go makan tose, we go makan, outside, makan his nasi lemak or whatever. That weekend was just to take Harin out and enjoy, and then come back, and then he's back to Kuantan for work. But now it's 24/7, daddy's around. Okay, so it's 24/7 makan. Oh God. That was the transition that both father and son had to learn. My husband had to learn how to say no to him, and that is something that until now it's a work in progress. I would say it's not happening. It is. And but he loves his dad. He loves his dad more than he loves me. I can say that. Because he wants his dad to do everything for him. So that's love lah. That's unconditional love he has for his dad.
I believe that mom and dad and siblings are the best advocate for children with special needs, regardless of their disabilities, whether or not they're disabled or not. So, what is your future plan for yourself and other autism parents out there? Do you plan to be
Hmm.
an advocate? Can you share one word
Um.
with us?
Okay. Honestly speaking, I haven't had much thought about that. This is the first time in my entire life that I have actually bared my soul out to the world. And I wouldn't, I think before this, I didn't have the guts to share my intimate details and how my life was with my son. I always camouflaged it. But if you ask me now, would I want to be an advocate? Yeah, I would. I would like that very much, because I think there are parents out there like me who feel that they are not doing the best. I felt that as well. I felt in the beginning when everybody asked me, would you like to share? I didn't want to share. Honestly speaking, I didn't feel comfortable sharing because I myself felt that I wasn't doing enough. But now, actually, I have been attending a lot of motivational sessions. Like I think a brief detail about myself right now. I'm an entrepreneur, and to be an entrepreneur, I had to change my thinking. I have to change my mindset. So that mindset that I have learned from these trainings that I've been attending has changed me to this person I am today, who is accepting me as the me I am. And yeah, so what if I didn't do the best? I mean, so what if I didn't get the best centers for my son? I did the best I could with the circumstances that I was in. And I don't want parents out there to, like what, be hard on themselves. Give yourself a break. We are doing the best we can with the circumstances and with the financial means that we have. It's an honest thing right now. Not everybody is rich, not everybody has got constraint. Having an autistic individual in the home, it can drain you financially. It's point, yeah, it's real. The journey is real. Yes, financially, if you are well to do, you can get all the help you want for your child, and it's good. I'm not saying it's bad, but for those parents who can't afford it, then what happens? So, we need to work out on this aspect. And one of my goals as well, because I am an entrepreneur, and one of my goals is also to be able to have a center, you know set up a center, set up a home that, where our kids, God forbid anything should happen to me and my husband, where is he supposed to go? Is there a place for him here in Malaysia? No. So this is what I feel in future we should have a place, a safe haven for them, that we can leave this world feeling not burdened. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing, Gulshan. Very, very nice, very insightful. Um, uh, Before I end this show today, I would like to dedicate a poem to you and mothers out there. The poem is goes like this: differently living with poem is on autism. Differently living with a difference within within different within difference, not with indifference. A life with different ability, living with ability differently. Happy World Autism Day 2021. And my advice to parents out there, and also ghost is also be an encourager, not a critic, because when the child sees you happy, he or she becomes happy too. Read self-help books so that you can understand your child even better, and be an example for the kids so that they will look up to you as a role model. Smile and laugh with them and be strong. Here's to more here's to more autism awareness and disability awareness. See you all next week and good night. Thank you.
Good night. Thank you, Rajvin. That was very beautiful.
There you go. I think it is very nice here for Rajwin to say that that poem was so fantastically written, and amazing how she put it to words in a very fine manner. Thank you so much, Rajwin. Goshen, thank you so much for being there. I could see a lot more
Thank
viewers
you for
giving
having me.
comments. Yeah. Sureka, I have written it well. She says, don't be on denial. And then you have got Uma Velu also says, thank you. Lim with him says, awesome
Thank
talk. So, thank you so much for sharing. And Rajwin, you've made it again. Very nice. So, we shall meet you all again in a very soonest time possible. Tune in next time with Rajvin and Warren. Ladies and gentlemen, bye bye. Gulshan, once again, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.